Assalamualaikum dear students, this is your biology teacher and today we are going to start a new chapter, that is transport in mammals. We have already discussed about the mammals, that mammals are the developed organisms. Mammals are the well-developed organisms having complex brain. They have hair on the skin and they feed milk to their babies, etc. So we are going to study that how do the transportation in the mammals occurs, or simply our first topic is need for our transport system. That why do we need the transport system? In this chapter, we will be studying in detail about the man's transport system, the transport system in human. First of all, we know that there are two types of organisms: unicellular organisms and multicellular organisms. We know that uni means one, cellular means cell. So these organisms have only single cell or one cell in their body. So they do not require any transport system. They do not require any transport system. For example, if we talk about amoeba, you have already studied about this unicellular organism in detail, that amoeba is a unicellular organism. It has single cell and materials move in and out of its body with the help of diffusion. So diffusion plays a major role in the transportation of the materials in the unicellular organisms, because unicellular organisms do not require any proper transport system. But if we talk about the multicellular organisms, we will know that multi means many and cellular means cells. So those organisms which have many cells in their body are known as the multicellular organisms. So these multicellular organisms require a proper transport system in their bodies. And if we talk about the transport system in the multicellular organism, then that is blood circulatory system, this blood circulatory system is very complex in human and many mammals, especially, which contains blood vessels and heart, etc. And if we talk about the second transport system, second part of transport system, then that is lymphatic system. This lymphatic system is composed of lymph and lymphatic vessels or lymphatic capillaries, etc. We'll be studying these two systems in detail. So first of all, we are going to discuss about the blood circulatory system, or simply about the blood. We know that blood plays a major role in our body. You have seen the blood, it is red in color. But more than that, it is a connective tissue. You have already discussed, you already learned about the functioning of the connective tissues, or simply this is known as fluid tissue, because it is mainly a fluid having a large quantity of water. If we talk about the composition of the blood, composition of the blood, that how blood is formed or what is it made up of. So blood is mainly made up of three things. First, this is blood plasma. Second, these are blood cells. And third, platelets. Blood plasma, blood cells, and platelets. Now, if we discuss about the plasma, we know that it is mainly, it is the major part of the blood, and it is about 55% of our blood. It means that in our body 55% of plasma is present. There is 55% plasma in the body. And if we talk about the composition of the plasma, then it contains 90% of water. Plasma contains 90% of water. It means its major component is the water. And it has many other things as well. These constitute only the 10%. For example, it contains 4 types of proteins. How many types of proteins? Mainly 4 types of proteins. And these, can you please tell me the names of those 4 types of proteins? These are albumin, globulin, prothrombin, and fibrinogen. There are many other types of proteins as well, but these 4 proteins are playing the major role, as prothrombin and fibrinogen are the blood clotting proteins. These proteins help in the blood clotting whenever we have an injury or cut on the skin or even internal parts. So these proteins help in the blood clotting. Then the other thing that this plasma have are the antibodies. We know that antibodies play a major role against the pathogens. Pathogens are those organisms which, those foreign particles which are harmful for our body. Then these antibodies are present in the blood plasma, which act against these foreign particles Then plasma also contains the mineral salts. Mineral salts means plasma contains chlorides, plasma contains bicarbonates, plasma contains all the minerals, especially the calcium ions. You know, calcium plays a major role in our body. It helps in strengthening our bones, and also calcium plays a major role in the blood clotting as well. So it helps the prothrombin and fibrinogen to clot the blood as well. Then the functions are it contains food substances, it contains excretory products, food substances, for example, through our small intestine, the food has been broken down into fatty acids, into amino acids, and glucose. So these materials are transported from one place to another around the body with the help of plasma. Then plasma also contains the excretory products. Excretory products. For example, plasma contains urea, plasma contains uric acid, and plasma contains creatinine. So all these excretory products are present in our blood, and these excretory products has to be removed from our body. So plasma collects the urea, uric acid and creatinine and move and carries them towards the kidneys, and then kidneys expel these excretory products out of our body. So then it also contains the carbon dioxide. You know, carbon dioxide gas is also an excretory product in our body. Then it has to be removed. So with the help of plasma, this carbon dioxide gas comes in contact with the lungs, and then it is excreted out. Then plasma contains the hormones. You know, hormones are the chemicals in our body which play a major role for the balancing of our body functions. So these hormones or chemicals are also present inside the blood plasma. So these are the functions of the plasma which it performs. Then we are going to discuss about the other part of the blood, that is blood cells. We know that there are two major types of the blood cells, RBCs or red blood cells, and second is WBCs or white blood cells. So these red blood cells are also known as erythrocytes, and WBCs or white blood cells are also known as leukocytes. So now we are going to discuss about the functions of the red blood cells or composition of the red blood cells or erythrocytes. Erythrocytes are simply red blood cells. We know that red blood cells, their function is to carry the oxygen in our body, because these red blood cells contain a protein known as hemoglobin, and this hemoglobin is a specific protein which carries the oxygen, and then it transports the oxygen to our whole body. If we talk about the structure of red blood cells, then they are flattened, simply flat, biconcave. Now, what is the meaning of biconcave? Actually, they are circular or round, but if we see the structure, sideways structure, they are biconcave, like this. Biconcave means having two inside curves, this curve and this inside curve. These two inside curves help the oxygen to combine with these red blood cells very easily. So, if we talk about their size is less than 0.1 millimeter, even less than that, 0.01 millimeter. So, this is the structure and functions of the red blood cells are erythrocytes. If we talk about their lifespan is about 3 to 4 months, and after 3 to 4 months these red blood cells die. And how do they produce? These red blood cells produce in our bone marrow. The bone marrow produces these red blood cells, and even most of the white blood cells. And red blood cells are elastic, and so that because of their elastic nature, they can squeeze through the blood vessels. They can squeeze through the blood vessels. So this is all about the red blood cells. Now we are going to discuss about the white blood cells or leukocytes. White blood cells are also known as leukocytes. If we compare the red blood cells with the white blood cells, then we can understand that these white blood cells are larger than the red blood cells. And if we talk about the ratio between red blood cells and white blood cells, then the ratio becomes 701. So from here we can understand how less they are compared to the red blood cells. They are larger in size, they are lesser in quantity, and their main function is to make the defense system in our body. They form the defense system of our body, or we can say that red blood cells are the army of our body, and these white blood cells are the army of our body, and they protect us from different diseases. Protect us from diseases because they kill the foreign particles, they kill the bacteria, they kill the viruses coming in our body and protect us from different diseases. If we talk about the types of leukocytes or white blood cells, then there are two main types of the white blood cells. First are the lymphocytes and second phagocytes. Lymphocytes and phagocytes. Lymphocytes are the white blood cells which are produced in the lymph nodes or lymph tissues. And if we talk about phagocytes do the function of phagocytosis. And then what is phagocytosis? Phagocytosis is the cell eating, or they simply engulf the foreign particles or simply bacteria. If bacteria is there in our body, then these phagocytes do the process of phagocytosis and engulf those bacteria. Their types there are two main types of phagocytes. Common types, two types of phagocytes. First is monocytes and second is polymorphs. Actually, if we talk about the white blood cells, they have nucleus. But if we talk about the red blood cells do not have any nucleus. So this is the difference between white blood cells and red blood cells as well. So if we talk about monocytes, then mono means one, so they contain one nucleus. And poly means many, morph means structure. So actually they have many portions of the nucleus. So that is why they are known as polymorphs.